Okay, to say that I'm obsessed with Ninja is like an understatement. Anything they do, I end up buying, but I have been waiting to talk about this. I actually heard from a little birdie a couple of months ago that we were doing this as today's special, and I almost bought a hand mixer from that leading company that you know, because, you know, I love that manufacturer's big stand mixer, but, you know, let's be honest, it's a lot for me. I gotta, you know, move it, lift it, it's heavy. So I thought, okay, I'll compromise. I'll get their hand mixer. It was $99 on sale, okay? I'm just using that as a reference point because, yeah, you can use this with 750 watts of power, and you know what? Compare apples to apples, oranges to oranges. How much power does the other guy? How much money are they charging you? You can do smoothies, you can do cocktails, you can do brownies, you can do your Christmas cookies, you can make your own bread, you can make your own focaccia. We include the dough hooks, that's a game changer. By the way, those are also great for doing like meatloafs and things like that, because you know, don't have to touch the onions. Those are a $20 upcharge. We're including them with your purchase. The big balloon whisk, meringues and whipped cream will never look the same ever again. And remember, it is a twofer. So your little hand mixer, which basically acts like a stand mixer, except it can go right in the pot because, you know, those double batches, you know, of peanut butter cookies where it's like, this will do what no other hand mixer will do. The carafe, the great little Immersion wand, because it's also an immersion blender. You pick your color of choice, the red, the blue, the white, or the black. Great recipe guide included. She is my ninja. She is my Santa's little helper in the kitchen. Rochelle, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be here with you today, Shannon. It's good to see you too.
You know I'm obsessed with this. Let's start with the power and what this does for the price.
Absolutely. So you're getting one PowerBase, but two appliances. So if you have a hand mixer at home, maybe you're not happy with it, I want you to ask yourself if it can do this. Look at that power. Look at how it is pulling the water all the way up. This is about, you know, maybe 1.5 feet worth of water. So that's what it could be doing in your pots when you're making your soups. This is what it can be doing when you're wanting to make your, you know, your whipped creams and do your cookies. That is how powerful
it's still going.
It is still going. So I'm going to release the PowerBase here, and we're going to make some hot chocolate.
By the way, Rochelle, when you did that, it's a one-touch button, to remove or put like a different attachment on.
Really easy. You just kind of pop it on. It has a little arrow, so it's really easy to use. You can just line it up by the arrow. Then you press the little buttons here to release it. So it's really easy to use, really easy to switch back and forth between using the Immersion blender and the hand mixer. So speaking of Immersion blender, before I put this in the pot, I want to show you where we've got some hot milk in here. I'm going to put whole chocolate, whole butter, and we are gonna do a little hot chocolate stand. So imagine having this on Christmas morning with real hot chocolate, real, you know, butter in there, and the flavor just really cannot be beat. So now what I'm gonna do is that Immersion blender. So I'm just gonna pop it right on. I'm gonna line up the arrows. You hear it click, and then I'm gonna use this to mix everything in the pot together. And so I like to call this my winter blender because you can do hot foods with it so easily. And you can't do hot liquids with, you know, your normal blender. And believe me, I've got like 3 Ninja blenders at home, but this one's my winter blender for all these hot liquids. True. Look at how it did that so super smooth. It also has a pan guard, so it's not gonna scratch your pots and pans. So this is our Never Stick Ninja ware. You know, I didn't want to scratch it, so it's got that, pan guard there for you. It also has 4 blades. You can see 4 blades there. There's actually 6 because there's a little claw there in the center too. So it's going to power through whatever ingredients that you have in your pot, whether you're doing a homemade soup or you're doing chocolate, whole pieces of chocolate like I just had in there. It's gonna be able to power through it, and that's because it has that 750 watts, plus it has the blades that Ninja is known for.
It's true, and wow, are we busy. Hey, by the way, and Jared, thanks again. We're gonna I'm looking at this like as a 3-hour kitchen extravaganza. So some of our highlights from the last 2 hours, whether it's the anchor hocking or the knives, we're gonna show you the best of the kitchen over this next hour of time together. But this is the best of what Ninja does. First of all, part of what makes them so special is they listen to customers. Then they take what you say and they say, build a better mousetrap. And that's what they do. Then they take great ideas. Like, I love that company that does that big stand mixer. I have their stand mixer, but for me, it's heavy. And I really do. Thank you.
Some hot chocolate for you. Doesn't it smell delicious? You can smell the chocolate. You can smell the difference between having like real hot chocolate versus just the powdered hot chocolate from the store.
But that is so beautifully emulsified.
Yes.
But as an example, that company that does that big stand mixer, it's a great stand mixer, but I was gonna buy their hand mixer. Their hand mixer is $100 on sale. Their hand mixer is $100 on sale. This, to put it in perspective, it's an immersion blender, it's a smoothie maker. You can do your cocktails with this. You can do your brownies with this. You can do your soups with this. You can do your purees with this. You can do your cheese balls. You could do homemade baby food, homemade pet food, meatloafs, and everything in between with this.
Absolutely. Plus you can switch easily back and forth between the two because you are getting 2 appliances in one. You get the 750 watt PowerBase, plus you also get a hand mixer and you get an immersion blender. So I'm just going to snap this onto the hand mixer. You hear it click. There's little arrows here that line up too. And even on the other side, there's actually pictures. So whether you're using the beaters or the whisk, it tells you which side to put the whisk on. So really they make it foolproof. If you don't even want to read the instruction manual, you don't have to, right? So I'm gonna use the whisk attachment and we're going to make some whipped cream to go with our hot chocolate. I'm gonna put a little bit of sugar in there. It does come with a cup, so this cup is perfect for doing you know, any kind of emulsification that you want to do. So I'm just going to do some whipped cream. Imagine trying to do this by hand. It would take you forever. I don't have the upper arm strength to get this amount of, you know, whip this fast. And you're going to see these peaks forms in such little time because it's going to, you know, do quick work of making this into a beautiful, beautiful whipped cream. Plus, this cup also comes with a lid, so if you make a little extra, you can pop it into the refrigerator when you're done. You can see those peaks starting to form, and just like that, we have whipped cream. It took me seconds.
Okay, I bought, I'm embarrassed to say, in fact, again, I'm having a little problems with my eyes. Your flex pay is $25. Remember, once you're at that $75, you're getting free shipping, but guess what? We're paying for the shipping, so guys, you're there. But just one of those little cans of the ready something, you know, I mean, it's like $4, $5, $6. I mean, dairy is expensive. So if you are still calling on the Anchor Hocking, we're gonna make you healthier this holiday season. You wanna do your mise en place, you wanna do baking with no PFOAs, that's what glass is. You're gonna see the Anchor Hocking in the corner of your screen. You want to take the, you know, the prep out of the prep. You want that vertical mandolin from last hour. But then if you are looking to take the hassle and the headache out of the cookies, out of the brownies, out of the cheese ball, out of the meatloaf, I mean, whatever it is, just remember, this is a 2-in-1. Rochelle, as we do this demonstration, I'd like to keep cycling through that videotape because Ninja really, you do things in the kitchen that nobody else does, especially at this price.
We truly do. We try to make it easier in the kitchen. We look at all the customer reviews and see what you need. And one of the things that people needed in a hand mixer too is something that was easy to store and something that was easy to use. So this isn't your big stand mixer like what you were saying that's really super heavy. This is your heavy duty hand mixer that you're gonna use all the time. You can easily store it. Even with immersion blenders, sometimes they're a little too long to store in a drawer. Because this comes apart, because the PowerBase comes with it and you can use it with multiple appliances and attachments, you can easily store this in your drawer. What you just saw him doing there, making the soup, that's what I personally love it for. I call it my winter blender because I'm able to do my hot liquids like my hot chocolates and my soups and my cocoa, and I can blend it right on the stove top, and then it becomes really one pot cooking, right? Because you wouldn't want to transfer this to a big blender and then have to batch it and then you have to let it cool in order to do that. I'm ready to serve it hot in 30 seconds. When I have my family over, we can do our hot chocolate or our soups on the stove really easily.
Before you do that next demonstration, Rochelle, I'm just gonna do a quick little quantity update. And guys, see, normally they used to let me have the last airing of things, you know, in my kitchen shows here at HSN. But see, these are life lessons. I'm learning to share. They're teaching me how to share because Michelle and Adam will have the last official airing coming up, I think at 10 o'clock tonight.
Think so?
At 10 o'clock. But here's the thing. I don't know, do I look like I'm in a cave? I'm not so sure we're gonna have that cobalt blue. I think there are only 700. So there are only 700 of these to go around. Going, gone for sure. I mean, I know the color almost becomes irrelevant because of what it does, but remember, it's a 2-in-1. It's really a 3-in-1 because whether you wanna do smoothies or gazpachos or brownies or beat eggs or do meringues or do omelets or make bread with this. The dough hooks, we'll show you that if purchased separately again. The dough hooks are a $20 value, so that we are including those. There's, I mean, basically, you know, that's our thank you from Ninja, because they're still giving us the lowest price in America, the lowest price anywhere, shop coast to coast, that great balloon whisk, and then of course that beaker, that carafe, if you will. You choose it, and of course you get that great immersion blending wand or stick with that guard. It's just like a whole lot of stuff, but it is, if you are really looking for a workhorse in the kitchen, look no further. Red, final 700 of that cobalt blue. White has been our most popular. It's really a full and expansive recipe booklet that is included. I love this, from Dutch babies to is this a dressing and everything in between. You will use it, you will love it. Unconditional money back guarantee until the end of January. All right, Rochelle, Christmas is a-coming.
We're gonna make some sugar cookies, Shannon. So these are the EasyGlide beaters. This is something that is exclusive to Ninja. It's a wider surface area, so it's gonna really whip up a lot more air into your baked goods. It's gonna make them fluffier and lighter every single time. So we're gonna make some Christmas cookies here. We've got some butter and sugar. I'm just gonna whip this together. It also has a variable speed, so you can start slow and then speed it up when you need to speed it up too. So I'm just gonna add some eggs, and we're going to make a wonderful Christmas cookie. So this is gonna help get you through all of your cooking and baking throughout the holidays. But even as we get into January, I'm gonna show you some healthy things you can do with it as well. So now that I've creamed the sugar and the eggs and the butter, I'm gonna add my flour, and we're gonna have a really delicious Christmas cookie batter from scratch. You know, there's nothing wrong with buying the pre-made stuff every now and then, but there's nothing like fresh baked cookies for Christmas. So once that's all done, I'm just gonna stop here and show you the beaters again. I can easily switch between the two, but also I can stand it up. And so a lot of times, you know, it's a little too, most hand mixers are a little too low. They don't actually rest over the bowl. And so if I need to go to the refrigerator and get some vanilla, or maybe I forgot an ingredient, this rests right over the bowl, so that way it's not dripping on my countertop. So I really love that tall height too. So now that we made our Christmas cookie mix, let's move on down. I'm gonna show you how to make the icing for it as well. So I'm gonna put a little bit of food coloring here in the center, and then we're gonna use those EasyGlide beaters. Again, that is exclusive to Ninja's hand mixer, to mix in that little bit of food coloring to make a beautiful icing to go on our Christmas cookies. And again, you have that variable speed. It's gonna start off slow, and then I can speed it up all the way up to 5. So it is a 5-speed blender or mixer that I have all of that control and that 750 watts of power for when I need it. But look at how quickly it was able to do the icing. And again, I can stand it right up and let it rest over the bowl so it's not dripping on my countertop. It is tall enough to reach over your bowl, so that way if you have to pause in the middle of your cooking, you can. But watch how easily this will switch to the Immersion blender. So I'm just going to swap the motor base. So this is the power motor base, and we're going to go to the Immersion blender here. Look at how it locks right into place. So I've got my arrows right here. It snaps right together. Let's go to something a little bit more savory. So this is, we're gonna do a little aioli. So this is like making mayonnaise from scratch. I don't know if you've ever read the back of a mayonnaise jar label when you go to the grocery store. There's a lot of things in it that you can't pronounce, mono, blah, 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 I can't even say it. This is just gonna be eggs and oil. So even in the new year, when you wanna do, you know, eat healthier after the Christmas cookies, you can go and you can make your own salad dressings. You can make your own mayonnaise. And so I'm just gonna mix the eggs here just a little bit to get them going. And then we're gonna slowly pour a little bit of lemon juice and a little bit of oil as well, and emulsify this into a garlic aioli to put on our crab cakes there. So if you're doing some entertaining for the holidays and you wanna mix up something nice and quick, this is great to do for that.
Hey, Rochelle, see, I take a break. It's like the Starship Enterprise. You don't know where the bathroom is, so if I'm not talking, Rochelle's helping me out. Well, apparently, something happened. It is the final presentation. So this is it. So Jared, I know this all kind of happened unbeknownst to me. If we could spend a little extra time, I know, because now it's really going to be abbreviated. Final shot, final presentation. Here's the thing, you got to get this at home. While it's one thing to say, the mayonnaise tastes better, have you seen what these gourmet mayonnaises sell for?
Really expensive. And you can do
They're like $11 a jar. sure.
Yes, and you can do this with olive oil too if you're trying to do something a little healthy. Look at how thick that was. I just lifted up the immersion blender so I could add some garlic, and I added some herbs. I'm just gonna blend this up again really quick.
Yeah.
You can hear the power in there. That's that smart torque. It's not gonna stall on you. It's gonna keep the same mixing speed no matter how thick the ingredients are that you're using. But look at this wonderful, it smells so good. I wish you could smell the garlic. It smells so delicious.
But you know what? Maybe you're not a real gourmand. You could do mayonnaise. You put that in a little mason jar with a little note for Christmas.
Oh, great idea.
You do this as Christmas gifts, and I'm telling you, people will lose their minds. It is the last show. It is the final presentation. I'll tell you what, if you are feeling in the Christmas spirit, this is making cocktails and cookies and, you know, brownies and bars and, you know, do your mashed potatoes with this. Do your homemade whipped cream with this. Final shot. Actually, it's a good thing that they made that announcement. So I don't know if we can spend any additional time or not. All I can tell you is they are absolutely going. That's one of the reasons they made this the last official presentation. The blue, the blue, the blue. I think we have fewer than 700 of that blue now remaining. All right, Rochelle,
I'm shredding chicken.
But you know what's so funny? When I've sold the big stand mixers at, you know, basically $1,000, I mean, you know, slightly less than that, one of the things we talk about is pulled chicken.
Yeah.
Regular hand mixers will not give you the same kind of performance as this, because that's a whole block of cream cheese.
That is a whole block of cream cheese, 2 chicken breasts, and we're gonna add some hot wing sauce as well. So we're gonna do a buffalo chicken dip, and I love how thick this is. So it is able to get through really thick ingredients. It's able to blend the cheese, shred the chicken, and mix this all together to make a wonderful homemade buffalo chicken dip from scratch. You know, you don't have to use canned chicken. You can use your leftover chicken or chicken from your Ninja Foodi pressure cooker. And look at how it's really going through these thick ingredients. And that's that smart torque. And I only have this on level 1, Shannon. Like, you know, it goes up to level 5, but it still has that power even on the lowest setting to get through your thick ingredients. And that's that smart torque that's gonna maintain the speed. It's not gonna stall. It's gonna go through these wonderful thick ingredients to do great savory things too. So we've done some cookies, we've done some icing, and now we've done some chicken dip. But you know what? I even have more cheese to add. Let's add a little bit more cheese. I've got some cheddar. We're gonna make this just restaurant quality style, which is what we love to do with Ninja. And I can show you how it can really power through thick ingredients like shredding chicken and adding a whole block of cream cheese to make this wonderful chicken dip. So, you know, when the big game comes, you know, January or February, and you're ready to start entertaining, this is perfect for that. It's a nice, impressive appetizer to serve to your friends.
I'm telling you what, if you only did dips, if you only do homemade gifts, and like I said, you could do your own homemade hot cocoa mix. You could do your own homemade mayonnaise in a mason jar. You bring homemade pulled chicken or buffalo chicken dip. Do you know how much our local grocery store charges? They only do it seasonally, by the way. A buffalo chicken dip.
A lot.
It's a lot. No, I'm serious. Like those little containers, I suppose that's, you know, like the little, you know, it's like not a half pint or whatever it is. You know, it's like $6, $7, $8. If you only did snacks, if you only did soups, if you only did, you know, savories with this, your homemade mashed potatoes, you have to wrap your brain around the idea. Compare the wattage in that stand mixer. I'm not even going to compare this to a hand mixer out there. Compare the wattage of your stand mixer to what you're getting in this hand mixer. I'm just telling you right now, and I don't know what brand you have. I can't see what's in your kitchen right now because I know you've got something, but I would almost bet my life, I don't care what you've got, what brand, even if it's a stand mixer, in all likelihood, it probably doesn't have 750 watts of power.
Exactly. With that smart torque technology too. And so what I'm doing right now is just really a box mix of no-bake cheesecake. So I know we've got all these fancy things on the table and recipes included in the book, but if you just want to do some, you know, your box cakes, this is going to make really quick work of that as well. See how thick it's getting? I mean, that was very liquidy when I started. It's whipping that extra air in there, making it nice and thick and creamy. And that's those EasyGlide beaters that are a little bit thicker than your normal beaters. The surface area is thicker, so you're gonna be able to whip that air in there a lot easier and get nice and fluffy baked goods. Whether you're doing them from the box or doing them from scratch, you're gonna have really great results every single time.
Rochelle, I gotta give a quick quantity update. First of all, I'm freaking out. This is your last airing. It is your last chance. It's your final opportunity. I hope you are calling. You know what, Rochelle, since it's the last show, we might want to come back to this. Is that okay?
Come on back. Yeah,
perfect. Let me just do what you get and what's left, and then we'll show you the power for the price. No kidding. And you know, I'm not putting shame in anybody's game. I love that leading, you know, stand manufacturer. I really do. I have one of their stand mixers, but for me, from a practicality standpoint, I always say it's kind of like, all right, you'll forgive me for this analogy. Was the date worth shaving your legs? You know, right? Was he worth shaving your legs for? You know? Carrie knows what I'm talking about, happily married woman. They're both happily married. I'm still, I don't know what I am. But, you know, is it worth taking the big stand mixer out for? What's the wattage in that stand mixer? This means, and I'm not saying that you retire that forever, but the truth is, this probably has as much, or in many cases, probably more wattage than your stand mixer.
Yeah.
Now again, I don't know what you got at home, but if we just compare apples to apples, this probably has more power. I can tell you this, I know it's a better price, and I know it's the best price in America, and I know it's the last airing. It is the final presentation. So what is it? It's your immersion blender. It's your stand mixer without the stand. Because basically, yes, it's a hand mixer, but I could almost bet my life that it probably has more, you know, wattage than maybe the stand mixer you have. So yes, you get the beaters. Yes, you get the dough hooks. That's a $20 freebie, and then the balloon whisk, and then the carafe as well. But then don't forget, it's also an immersion or a stick blender. So if we were just doing a hand mixer for this price, that's better than the other guy, you know. And again, I love that company, but just understand, I know for a fact, because I almost bought their hand mixer for $99. The blue, Jared, is official, only 600 of the blue remaining. If you want that electric blue, we're looking at the last 600 on that beautiful, I kind of call it like an electric blue, so last 600 there. The red is kind of a natural in the kitchen for us here at HSN. There's the white, really extensive recipe booklet that comes with this as well. All right, Rochelle, why do we do this demo and why is it so important?
So I love this demo because it's going to show you the power. Okay, so you kept talking about the stand mixers. This is 750 watts of power, but it's not heavy and it's not taking up a bunch of counter space. You can actually just store it in the drawer, but you're going to want to keep it in a close drawer because you're going to want to use it every day. But this is going to show you the power of how it's pulling everything up. So this is about 1.5 feet worth of water, and you can see it's pulling everything even from the bottom. So whether you're making your soups or your hot chocolate or you're whisking together your creamy desserts, you're going to have the power to be able to do that. Just like you saw what I did with the chicken. When I shredded the chicken and I added the cheese, you're gonna have 750 watts of power with that smart torque technology. So it's going to power through whatever, you know, you give it in the kitchen. It's still going, it's still going. And you notice I keep just moving along with, you know, with the PowerBase. So you get one PowerBase, but 2 appliances.
Right.
Plus you get all the different attachments. So it's really like 5 different things all in one.
Like take those dough hooks, which we're including for no additional cost, as an example. Again, I love that stand mixer. I do, I love it. But the truth is, does it fit underneath your countertop? Can you move it? It's very heavy. You can't make bread in a regular glass bowl with that stand mixer. You gotta use their bowl. You're making bread, you're making focaccia in whatever bowl you got. You're making smoothies, you're making gazpachos, you're grinding meat in whatever bowl you got. So it's not just the power, which quite honestly probably rivals what you have in your stand mixer, it's the portability and the power, especially for this price.
Exactly. So you saw what I just did to the water there. Here's where it comes practicality. So I've just have raspberries in here with some honey, so no liquid. So that's what a great use is for an immersion blender or a stick blender, as you were calling it too, is that when you don't want to add extra liquid because you want a really thick sauce. So I'm going to power through these raspberries and just emulsify them without any additional liquid in there. We're just going to use the liquid from the berries to make a wonderful, delicious sauce. So once the new year comes and you want to do something that's low sugar or sugar-free, you can just use fruit to make your wonderful sauces to go onto your cheesecake, your no-bake cheesecake, or even if you want to make a mousse with this, which is what I'm going to do here in a minute. But look at how wonderful and thick this sauce is. So that's the power you're getting. That's that 750 watts of power. So I'm going to put this on the cheesecake right here. How delicious does that look?
Oh my
gosh. And this is a raspberry coulis. So a coulis is just a pureed fruit, right? But you can act fancy with your friends and be like, I made a raspberry coulis to go on our dessert. It's fancy, but it was just raspberries and your immersion blender.
You know what I was saying? I mean, if you only did homemade mayonnaise in little mason jars with a little gift card, they're going to lose their minds.
Yeah.
You buy a pre-bought store cheesecake, okay?
Exactly.
And you just put like a little honey and a little raspberries, you know, you kind of them together, and you bring that with my very own, because our question to win $25 is, what's your secret kitchen hack? I mean, I've got a lot of them, but you could win a $25 gift card. You could even make a thing of it. It's, I have a very secret special raspberry Kool-Aid. All they need to know, they don't need to know nothing. It sounds fancy. It was honey and raspberries. But you know, Rochelle, that's the thing. We know fresh is best. Quite honestly, I think most people watching this show, it's not necessarily that we like the taste or like to buy pre-made anything. We do it because it's convenient.
Exactly.
But this, basically, there are no dishes. Because yes, top rack dishwasher or dishwasher safe, but you're just gonna rinse those beaters off. I mean, let's be
use them
honest.
again. That's true.
You
That's
are.
true. And but it is so easy to clean. So if you're out of time, you know, sometimes when I have guests coming over, I don't want dishes in my sink, so you can just pop it onto your top rack of the dishwasher and then wash it when they leave. So here I just used the raspberries that you just saw me smush and puree in there to make that raspberry coulis in with a little bit of cream to make a wonderful, creamy, delicious raspberry mousse. And it did it with the whisk attachment, so I was able to whip some air in there.
You know what's so interesting though? Any of the demonstrations, there's like a little turbo boost on this too, right? So any of the demonstrations that Rochelle is doing, here's what you didn't hear.
Oh, yeah. True.
Right, everybody knows what that sound is. If you've ever made a double batch of peanut butter cookies and then tried to throw M&Ms in there, by the way, put those dough hooks on when you do your M&Ms. It doesn't chop them up into little itty bitty pieces. So, and again, to do that with your stand mixer, frankly, it's more cleaning and it's more work. We used to, with immersion blenders, used to keep a bowl of water out here, and this is how we used to wash them. We just put them in a bowl of water, and it was done. So I don't care if you want smart, if you want fast, if you want powerful, if you want the lowest price in America, all I can tell you is you want this. Listen, I don't know if you're doing cookies or pancakes for the kids, or you want to do your own homemade Christmas this year, whether it's a coulis, whether it's a mayo, whether it's a full-blown buffalo chicken dip. You're gonna do fresh is best. And frankly, there are no dishes. Unlike my stand mixer, and I love my stand mixer, please don't, I'm not saying that, but that mixer, it's hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And even if you have that, this is what you will probably use every single day. Even if you just pop on that balloon whisk to do, Denver omelets, and you want to whip a little more air into that omelet, or if you're doing protein smoothies. Hey, Jared, is it official? 500 only on my blue. I'll do a little update again in a moment, but remember, it is the last airing. It's the final presentation. Final 500 in that cobalt. This was not planned as far as I knew. I knew that there are hundreds of people in the various forms of ordering. And if you are new to HSN, you know the name Ninja. You do not find this price on Ninja. And frankly, this newer item in their category and their repertoire is hard to come by. If you're gonna do it, you need to do it here while we're honoring this price for a one day only. What's up next, Rochelle?
All right, so 1 PowerBase, 2 appliances. So I just used the same PowerBase to do the raspberry coulis and then also the raspberry mousse. Now I'm gonna use it to make soup. This is how easy it is to switch. There's little arrows in there. You just line it up, click it into place, and now I can do my soups on the stovetop. I'm just gonna kind of crush through these tomatoes and basil to make a fresh tomato and basil soup. And so you can actually just go up and down and get those big ingredients. But once those ingredients are blended, now remember, I showed you there's 6 blades on the bottom of this with a pan guard, so you don't have to worry about scratching the bottom of your pan. You can use your non-stick pans and pots. You can also use your enameled cast iron. Not worry, it's not gonna scratch the bottom. But now that that's blended, look at how I can do my soups right on the stovetop. And you've got that 750 watts of power to blend all of those all-natural ingredients. There's no preservatives in here. There's no added sugar or salt. It's just roasted tomatoes, garlic, onion, and basil to make a wonderful homemade basil soup. Now I could add my cream. So if you were dairy-free maybe and wanted to do like oat milk or almond milk, you could do that as well to make a creamy tomato basil soup. But look at how nice and hot and bubbly that is. You can't do that in a normal blender. That's why you need to have an immersion blender.
It's true, and one that is hot food or hot liquid friendly. In fact, even some of your blenders, they tell you do not put hot liquids in. So here's the thing, we've got this now. I bet with that immersion stick, I could probably even chop some ice with this if I wanted to do little snow cones. Let me show you what's left. And remember, this is your final airing. It is your last opportunity. That was a big surprise to me. So I guess, some surprises in life are good. This is one of them. what the guy put on the dating profile and what you ended up with, that was not a good surprise. But the fact that we get your last airing, that's a good one. So the comedy is free. See, so the Cobalt, we have the final 400. It is last call, y'all. If you want that Cobalt, remember it is the final 400. It is that one-touch operation in terms of removing and twisting off that head. And then it is a twofer, but quite frankly, it's really more than that because you could even think of this as your bread machine. And what I mean by that is we are including the dough hooks, which are a $20 upcharge normally. We're including them with your purchase. You get the beaters, you get the balloon whisk, and then of course, it's like buy one, you know, it's like two in one. So you get it and you get it for my show and my show only. This is your final presentation. Carafe is included as well. Fewer than 400 of that blue if you want that below 100. Oh, by the way, only 800 remaining in the white, black and red, and you gotta do it now, guys. Make your phone call. This $75 purchase puts you at that free shipping. Even though we're doing free shipping now, everything else you can get for no additional cost. All right, this to me is the most powerful demo.
It is, it is. So you saw I just snapped that on with ease. You saw me do the soup. You saw me do the hot chocolate. This is what's going on in the pan. So it's pulling up all that water. It's creating that vortex. It's gonna mix through all of your ingredients. This is that 750 watts of power that you're seeing here. And so we wanted to create this. We wanted to create a way for you to kind of see, you know, what it's doing with those thick ingredients. Look, it's even continuing after I release the button. So, and it is one touch. It's just one touch up there. There's also a turbo for when you want to power through some of your thicker ingredients. But because you couldn't see through the, you know, the thick chocolate and the thick soups, we wanted to show you what it looks like inside.
Which, by the way, these cylinders, it's much harder. It's easier to generate power in a shallow pan than it is in a tall pan. Anybody who's ever had something stuck in a drain pipe, you know, and who's ever had the shop backing out her AC lines knows, you know, that a pipe, something that's long and narrow, it's a lot harder, you know, to generate power. So if it can generate that cyclone of power in that cylinder, trust me, there is nothing in your kitchen that it can't do. Let's do it.
Since we're walking to the eggs, I figured we'd just kind of go over everything I made on the way. So we did some hot chocolate with real chocolate, like actual pieces of candy, and butter and milk. So real hot cocoa in our pot with the Immersion blender. So right on the stovetop when it's hot, you can mix it together. We use the balloon whisk to make our own whipped cream in the container that you're getting. This is a 24-ounce container. It comes with a lid, so you can pop this in the refrigerator when you're done. You're getting the dough hook, so you can do your doughs, you can do your pretzel bites and your breads really with ease. We also mixed together some sugar cookie dough and some icing. That we did our nice Christmas cookies here, which are really fun.
Love it.
We made some aioli, so we used the container again with the PowerBase and the Immersion blender to make a wonderful garlic aioli. So again, you can make your sauces and your mayonnaise and your aioli and know what ingredients are in there without all those added ingredients and salts and sugars. We did a buffalo chicken dip. Look at this. We shredded chicken and then added a whole block of cream cheese, and it made quick work of that. It powered straight through it with that Smart Torque technology. We also did a no-bake cheesecake, a raspberry coulis with just raspberries, another raspberry mousse with the raspberries that we pureed, and then we did a tomato basil soup right in the pot. Again, your Immersion blender is your winter blender. You're gonna use it for all of your hot foods, for all of your hot soups, right on the stove top.
Absolutely. Rochelle, just one quick thing I wanna mention. Next time we do this, I'm gonna bring like a little bowl of water out here. So all of these things, imagine how long the dishes would take you.
Oh, yeah.
Rinse it off. Rinse it off. Rinse it off. No, I'm serious about this. So if we did all this with your traditional stand mixer, you know, listen, it takes time. I mean, you gotta get the big bowl off, then you gotta scrub, then you gotta rub. Here's the thing, there's a money back guarantee until the end of January. You owe it to yourself, at least get this at home. And if you don't love it, if it doesn't blow your mind, if it doesn't exceed your expectations, you send it back, no questions asked. Do you know we've got fewer than 800 left in that white, and actually the last 300 remaining in that blue? There's no downside to at least getting this at home, because if you're new to HSN, for a $25 flex pay, those are interest-free payments. Use your PayPal, your debit card, any major credit card. You can pay as you go, and I tell you what, if you don't love it, you send it back. In fact, you know, we'll zip it off to you for that 25 bucks and then that free shipping.
How fast was that to make scrambled eggs? So for your frittatas, for your omelets, for even just scrambled eggs in the morning, you know, if you don't want to get out the whisk, maybe, you know, for me, I don't have that kind of arm strength, you know, to whisk together eggs that fast and that quick. So really, you're gonna use it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You're gonna love having it for entertaining, but even into the new year when you wanna make things more homemade and know what the ingredients are, you're gonna have that ability as well. And it's all dishwasher safe. You're talking about the cleanup, you can put this in the top rack of your dishwasher. Easy cleanup, easy to use. You're gonna love having it this holiday season.
You will, and honestly, I mean, whether you're getting the Ninja waffle maker, or the little mini bunt maker from last hour, remember we're gonna do kind of a best of this 3 hours in the kitchen with you tonight. I hope you found something for the cook in your life, because that's what this 3-hour special edition was all about. But moreover, I hope you're treating yourself as well, especially if you're discovering HSN for the very first time, because I think we all have great expectations. You know, the new year is not that far away where we start making all of these ideal mission statements. I'm gonna lose weight, I'm gonna eat healthier. You know, all the things that we wanna do, you've gotta have the right problem solvers in the kitchen. And frankly, if less cleanup is one of them, then sign me up. I want more power, I want the best price, and I don't wanna clean up. I mean, this is basically, you rinse everything off in the sink. I mean, seriously, it's like you rinse the peters off in the sink. I know you can throw them in the dishwasher, but it's not like the big stand mixer where, you know, I love my stand mixer, but that takes some effort. This is no effort. It probably, at 750 watts of power, probably has more power than your stand mixer. Again, I may not know what you have in your home, but I know it's certainly got more power than your hand mixer. I can tell you that right now. It's probably closer to the power of your stand mixer. At least try it for $25. We'll send it your way with a money-back guarantee until the end of January. Anything else left to demonstrate?
I think we're about done. I had some waffle mix here. You know, I know we're running short on time, but you can do your waffle mixes, you can do your eggs, you can do your big pots of soup.
Yeah.
It is easy to clean. And you were talking about our New Year's resolutions. As soon as the new year hits, we're gonna wanna get organized too, right? Why not just put it all in a drawer? This will so easily fit into your kitchen drawer, you know, so that way you can clean off your countertops. And I love that it comes apart so you don't have a really long immersion blender. It comes in 2 pieces so you can put it in a drawer and get organized too. So easy cleanup, easy prep, easy storage.
Absolutely, great price. Easy on the budget, that's for sure. Well, Rochelle, I would say time off for good behavior. I guess you're not back with Michelle and Adam.
It's too bad I'm caffeinated, right?
Exactly, I know. I'm like, I'm ready to go.
To eat. I'm gonna have some hot chocolate, I think.
Oh, gosh. Well, will I see you yet this year, or is this it?
I think we'll be back with the creamy maybe later this month for a gift item, yes.
All right,
I don't know if I'm
crossed.
supposed to say that. That's a little secret. Now you guys know.
Yeah, see, I love it. Well, no secret is safe with me, so you're in the right place.
Oh, well, everybody will know now.
Exactly.